So comic books.
Books of comic sequential art.
Yep, that's true. Batman the Black Mirror. Now, you're not a superhero kid.
No, I hear you're not either
I am
a superhero
not, no,
kid.
I'm not a superhero kid. Just doesn't do it for me.
No.
And particularly DC.
No formation of the pants when the mention of superheroes is upon your ears?
Not really. The only one that like is ever interested in me is Logan. And so, okay. So we're in the wrong ballpark to begin with. DC.
Balls, park. Yep.
Yeah,
no,
that wasn't
cool.
what I said, but
No,
that's fine.
yep. Back on
So,
track.
Batman, is it good enough for you to recommend it? Is it enough to bring you back on board the superhero bandwagon?
No. Now let me explain to you why.
Sure.
It's kind of meh for the first 2/3, but the Jock art by Jock is jocktastic.
It's jocktastic.
If he was a strap, he would be a jock strap of awesomeness. Back to you.
Thank you. Now I have to give that context. So it's one of the Robins playing Batman set in the
Dick Grayson
future
is now Batman.
Yeah, it's future Batman. I don't know. It seems odd. And then
Yeah, well, there was robotic legs in it at one point. So.
yeah, and then like so the middle part comes along, which is probably the best part, which is the film noir kind
Yes,
of part.
yes.
And then it's just by the end of it, I just kind of think, why? What does this tell me about Batman? I don't really know.
No, yeah, it was just a it had a start, a middle, and an ending, and that
Yeah,
like-
it was by the numbers. And,
Yeah.
and, I mean, it's not going to be the kind of thing that drags you straight back into these kind of things if you're not into them to begin with.
So, as an outsider, I thought this was going to be very Joker heavy, but
Yeah.
I didn't.
His cameo was probably the best.
It was great, but yeah, it was like 10 pages of an entire graphic novel, so
Yeah.
trade or whatever you want to call it. So yeah.
So, meh?
yeah, just
general
meh.
consensus
Not
meh?
shit, but just if you're a Batman fan, you'll probably like it.
Yeah, 'cause
For
you get
everyone
more of the
else,
references, yeah.
whatever, yeah.
Yeah. The other one is The Escapist.
Mm.
So it's I guess how do we describe it? It's a comic book about people making comics.
Yes.
So he buys a license to The Escapist and he makes a comic book.
Yes, he
Sim-
brings an
similar.
old 40s character back
Yeah.
to life.
And it's based on a novel.
With science
No.
and art.
Yes. Okay.
Mostly art.
Yeah. Versus.
Well, the science of a pen, I mean, ink comes out with no
it's not
gravity.
science.
Well, I don't understand it.
Okay.
Fucking magnets.
All right. Anyway, you did. That's fine. But I don't know. It was a really good tale. I thought, like when it started, I thought for sure we were expecting another quitter. I thought I'm going to hate this, and it's just going to be
Yeah,
him
and the
whinging for however
self-wrenching,
long.
yeah.
But it was really good. It's definitely a retelling, an allegory of the Superman origin story. I think that's what works. Like they play based on a true story vibe. And
I
they nail
honestly
it.
thought it was for a fair while. Like,
Yeah.
they did it really well. They nailed it with a zinc galvanized nail.
Thank you. And I don't know. There's nothing really else to say except for the fact that it's much more lighthearted than his other stuff. Because his other stuff
Very
is
lighthearted.
Why the Last Man.
Yeah, why the last good pedigree? Brian K. Vaughan.
Yes, that's correct. And also Saga, which is his new one.
Saga he's knocking it out of the park lately.
He is. He's doing some good stuff. And again, this is real different from both those. They kind of have the real heavy, ominous kind of airs to them. This a lot more lighthearted. Yeah.
On a
still-
scale of serious to funny, 1 being serious, 10 being funny, it's like a 7.5,
Yeah.
8.
But yet it's not vapid. Like
No,
it
not
doesn't.
cheesy.
It's not shallow, which I guess is like speaks to how good a writer he is. Because otherwise, there's so many times where you just read stuff. It's like, what the hell am I reading this for?
If you had to try to describe it to me, I probably would have thought, but having read it, definitely. I think it's for anyone. There's no specific flavour. Give it a go.
Agreed.